Okay, cool. So how are you guys?
Great. Yeah,
wonderful.
How are you doing?
I'm parched. I just had like 3 bottles of water, but still parched.
Yeah.
Because it's been pretty hot over here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's because yesterday was actually the temperatures got
Thank goodness. Yeah, it was so nice. Yeah.
got a little down.
beautiful.
Apparently they're up again. So.
Okay. Yeah. It's still not too bad. So it could be way worse.
Is
But
the worst? What's the worst you've ever found in terms of temperatures?
I don't know. Maybe like.
In my hometown.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some of the worst. And I used to live in Minnesota and some other places when the humidity is so dense
I thought Hong
that
Kong
you can
was
cut
also-
it.
was
Hong
pretty
Kong was
intense.
pretty intense. In New York, it's really terrible sometimes because it's like really hot outside, and then you have to go into the subway.
Oh.
And it's like if it's near rush hour, it's just wall to wall people, and you're packed in there, and it's like whatever.
Walls are
40. The walls are
dripping.
dripping with water, and there's steam, and you feel sick, and you want to pass out, and trash, and it smells like shit. And then there's still, which is the craziest thing, is there's like junkies in like full, like winter gear, on the benches, I guess, totally fucked up out of their mind,
Wearing all the
sweaty,
clothes.
wearing, full jackets for the winter. And I don't even know how that happens. Maybe they're just trying to die or something like that.
Get
But
dehydration.
get dehydration. Maybe that makes the heroin react faster or something. I don't know.
Maybe they're cold because they're sick.
Yeah, maybe they're sick because of cold. So.
Maybe they're sweating something out as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
that
definitely
option.
is. Yeah, they're losing their vitamins though, and it makes me want to go and give them a multivitamin and be like, "Hey, man, there goes all your vitamin C," because that's not good for their health. Yeah.
Worrying about others, that's always good.
It's always good. Yeah.
Always good. So apparently in New York you can have, the regular cloudy skies, and then you have not underwater, actually almost underwater, but underground clouds as well at the same time, because apparently the subway.
Yeah, you can. Yes.
Because the Lisbon subway is pretty roomy, so it's like you have a lot of headspace, really.
Oh, cool.
So it never gets really damp or something. We're talking about the weather for 5 minutes now or something.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Totally.
All right, screw weather report, guys.
55 and sunny. Look out. Yeah.
Weather report with a place of very strangers. So you guys were supposed to play over here like 6 months ago in Lisbon.
Yeah, we were.
In Lisbon. You guys canceled for.
It was actually a weird debacle or something. It was like the show wasn't quite booked, I think, and then we had. I mean, it's all.
It wasn't quite booked. I'm sorry.
I don't know. It's our booking agent and whoever they were working with. When our booking agent, he's a really sweet guy, but he's maybe not always as coordinated. Maybe I don't even know. But
I don't want to make you guys trash talk anyone.
No. I'm not
to raise any debacle or something.
Yeah, totally. No big deal. But it was just that I think the show wasn't totally confirmed. It was just confused.
Basically,
and so
we hadn't confirmed the show as a band. We were like, we had not given it the go ahead because we saw that it was a lot of extra, like 42 hours more driving or something we had to do to do it. It was a bummer that we couldn't do it, but.
So it was technically possible even?
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
It actually was impossible. It was just that it was logistically impossible, honestly. So it was just the kind of thing where it was like it was too late. We wanted to. We actually planned that whole tour because we really wanted to come back to Portugal.
Yeah, we did.
As crazy as that is, we planned the tour to come back to Portugal. Was like the first and foremost thing.
Yeah.
So we told our agent, we were like, we want to book this tour around Portugal, and then what happened?
Overbooked the whole tour.
And then we overbooked the whole tour, and we were going to way in the east and things like that. And so it was something like we could have not even made the show. We would have driven like 26 hours or something like that to show up right when we were supposed to play, to then drive like 24 hours back or something like that, which we even were looking on how to even fly and stuff like that to kind of figure out to make it happen and cancel some other shows to do it, but it just was impossible to do. So it was really unfortunate because we've just had so much fun in Portugal every time we've been here. So I even at the end of that tour, actually, I flew to Lisbon with my girlfriend, and we stayed in Lisbon for 4 days.
Oh, really?
And just hung out, just because we love Portugal so much.
So that was when?
Was it November or something like that?
Oh, you mean this time? The past time that you didn't come? Like
the past time we didn't come.
It's supposed to be like I think a year ago or something.
Yeah,
December,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you did come. Oh,
Yeah, so I came and hung out, but we didn't play. I should have played like an acoustic show or something like that.
No. So, have you guys ever done anything acoustic? Like, because it doesn't seem to
acoustic guitars.
in the process of making
or lit some on fire or something like that. They're good for lots of things. You can use it to hold and prop up a door or like patch a wall. Something. Acoustic guitars, many uses.
Oh, did you guys ever use acoustic guitars? Yes, we sampled the destruction of some.
Yeah, pretty much.
The sound is of destruction. Exactly. And possibly hung a cat or something.
Yeah.
I know with the strings. Don't hurt pets, people. Don't hurt animals.
Don't hurt your own pets.
Animals. This
hurt
is a bad
other people's
suggestion.
pets, right? That's his point.
Yeah.
Hurt your friends' pets.
Imaginary pets. So when I went highly protective of animal rights, I know how I went
so,
there.
yeah.
My mind just
No,
was
I think
wandering.
that's good. I don't think it's right for people to hurt animals. So
At all.
Yeah, at all, ever. It's
Ever.
fucked up.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
seriously fucked up. And it's weird how we've come into this. You kind of almost get brainwashed from birth in some ways to just sort of make it so easy, because you wouldn't take a hammer and like hit some pig on the head with a hammer for fun. You know what I mean? At all. And so, but it's just so easy to just be like, oh, I'll take the ham sandwich, or something. It's like it's second nature. You don't even have to decide. It's kind of like a gun in humans. It's like it's so easy to kill somebody with a gun. It just takes 1 second. I mean, that's even like with suicide. I think a lot of people, they maybe wouldn't always have definitely committed suicide if they had more time to think about it, but it just takes 1 second to swallow a ton of pills or slit your wrists or blow your brains
other
out,
kind of work, really, yeah.
But all of those things where it's just like when it's kind of easy to do it with a tool, and when you're so disconnected from it, it's easy to go down those paths, you know. So
And plus, we've gone down a lot yes, a lot of us. No, but we've gone down we all. I think all of us grew up. All of us in the past 2,000 years grew up just being okay with like the slaughter of animals and stuff like that. I've never witnessed any, but I guess there's some. But no one wants that. But we still are okay with eating, as you were saying.
So easy, yeah.
So easy. Just like it's not the same thing. It's kind of like a suspension of disbelief, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but I guess there are some exceptions to animal killing of animals, which are mosquitoes and wasps.
Yeah, sure. I know.
Yes,
I find myself doing that, killing mosquitoes, and with actively trying to kill them.
Those are my two exceptions, I guess.
Totally. And we'll have like house flies sometimes in places, and I will try to let them out, but you still will like buy fly tape and stuff, and they'll like land up on the thing and die a terrible death, But it's like they're a nuisance, sort of. Otherwise, it's weird.
I hate anything that flies erratically onto my face.
Yeah,
that's my problem with things.
Or bite you and hurt you. They're kind of,
Yeah.
So it's a wasp, and they're going to try to hurt you. You kind of have to fight back, sort of. So
bees are adorable, but wasps are the spawn of Satan.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
they're fucking killing machines. Man.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to live. Fuck those bitches. That's my belief.
Yeah, sure.
Spiders, on the other hand,
I like spiders.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, for instance, like a lot of people are very scared of spiders. And
Well, they're scary. Some of them, if they're big, and a lot of those insects, if they land on you, it's surprising. It instantly instantly you're like, "Wah!" There's a spider on me, but I try not to hurt it.
Yeah, exactly. Me neither. So me either. I try to just like in any situation, like there's a spider, you don't want it, but then I don't want to hurt the spider. So here's my little friend. So I'll just get a broom and just carry it outside.
Yeah.
And most people are like, "Why are you freaking out? That's impossible."
yeah.
No, they're okay. They're okay. They don't mean to do anything.
No,
They're just super cool.
Yeah, they just want to create some webs and hang out.
That's kind of a shitty thing when you're on a walk with your dog and you go through a spider web and it takes you like 20 minutes to actually get it off of you. I mean, that's pretty bad,
but
right?
that's just an inconvenience.
Well, I don't kill the spider. I don't go and like try to find that spider. You know what I mean?
Shoot it with your.
But it's not meant for you though. It's meant for mosquitoes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Perfect. Yeah.
Try to eat the mosquitoes.
Yeah.
That's why they shouldn't.
Those are the pair of bitches.
ban automatic weapons, I think, because they're best for killing mosquitoes. It's good. Yeah, you need that for your defense against mosquitoes. DEET doesn't work.
So guys, weather, food, and killing animals, and I guess and saving animals, and also killing some of them. I guess the weather as well. But so transfixiation, what does that mean?
We're out of time.
We're out of time. Enough music. Bye. That's all the time we have allotted for music talk.
Yeah, exactly. I can't tell you what it means.
Because I don't know what it means. I don't know what the word means.
Yeah,
simply.
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
But you can't tell me.
I can't tell you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's actually a good answer.
There you go.
So, and I just really just wanted to know. So, I mean, in terms of
tough shit.
Well, tough shit. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah. It was a really cool record to make. It was really fun. We were, trying to sort of like capture our live sound and everything with that record. So we just, really pushed it to the frickin' limit. And we had gone on this super long tour and then went right into the studio right afterwards, which was our own place, and just recorded a bunch of music. And like when you're on tour, you're just dying to write music because you're constantly like going from shows to shows. And it's kind of a different sort of thing. And so it was like just such a natural flow of what was like the progression of the band.
Okay, cool. And you guys worked with Emil of Serena Maneesh?
Yeah, for a few of the songs, on the record. And two of the songs? Two of the songs on the record.
Which one of those?
Deeper and We've Come So Far.
Oh, okay.
And we had actually been invited by it was some organization in Norway or maybe the Norwegian government or something to come over to Norway and record music in the middle of this town called Etna, which is like in the middle of nowhere, and it's all Etna,
like the volcanoes in Italy.
Yeah, same name but in Norway.
With no volcanoes.
No volcanoes, but huge mountains and fucking beautiful, but freezing cold in this old like church school, and we had the whole place for like 3 days, and with Emil, and we recorded like 8 songs. And it was awesome. And 2 of those songs from those recordings made it on the record.
Okay, awesome. Because I find I was surprised to learn this because when I found out about it, because I think Serena Maneesh are one of the I think great bands that a lot of people don't know from like 10 years ago or something.
Totally. I love them so much. And that guy, Emil, is incredible. He's a mad genius. And like when they've come to New York, many times I've played on stage with them and stuff. And then Emil has come and played on stage with us. And we've just always been like really good friends with them and all the members of the band and everything. And he's just like, he is so passionate about music and such an easygoing, great guy. It's like the most incredible thing. He's like always like a kid in a candy store when you're working on things. So it's so cool. The studio he built is incredible. And going to that studio, we were just having so much fun. And he just loves to work and create music too, which is all we love to do. So it's just like I've worked with so many other even kind of different producers and things like that, and other people who have done incredible work, but a lot of times people kind of have a certain amount of like the self-awareness or self-worth or something, and when you're working with other people on music, I think you kind of have to drop that in some sort of way, and just...
How come, though?
Well, because it's like you sort of impose some sort of preconceived ideas on a project, and you kind of need to be open and work with what the project is and with what's going on with each member of the thing to kind of create what's the most strongest collective vision of what's going on.
Yeah.
So,
but you go with a certain intent,
so
like
if you go
a direction,
there,
right?
If you go in there as the guy who recorded all the Dinosaur Jr. records or something like that, you have a certain idea beforehand. They have something that they're trying to like push on you or something kind of.
You probably don't if you did all the Dinosaur Jr. records, if you're Jay Mascis.
Yeah, exactly. But still, I mean, it's like people kind of get like this sort of, where they kind of put up some sort of puff their tail and their collar up or something. And, Emil's just not one of those types of people. He's just like purely about the music, and you kind of have to, really figure out a way to let yourself go to create incredible music. And, he just is always down to do that. So it was really natural, is what I'm trying to say, basically. It was really great to do that.
It's a brilliant choice, really.
Yeah.
And I think it totally worked. And I think that it was really cool for me, like personally, because I always thought that when I heard, for instance, Strain Cosmetics like 10 years ago, I thought, wow, this is excellently produced. It's amazing. The production value is production value. I mean, I guess the production value. It's just really, really well produced. It's one of those songs that is even better, like the way it's recorded and the way it's engineered. And so your choice as for Emil as a producer, it's like, wow, that's. I didn't even have that like as a producer in mind. I mean, I'm not looking for one, but
sure.
Emil, if you want to produce my show, then feel free.
You should get him. Yeah, if anyone could ever work with him, I mean, seriously, he's probably one of the best people you could work with, because we've even been over at his studio and he records all sorts of bands, and I just feel like he always just takes those bands to the limit and like makes these bands kind of, explores what, exploits what their strengths are, and really kind of like pushes it even further in such a way, because he's so easy to work with, and he's so, he's just a lover of all kinds of music and can dive in and, figure out what would make a project the best.
Awesome. Goes for a show called Made of Things, and I should ask you guys, this is something that always comes up, and I wanted to do that with you guys as well, which means so the show is called Made of Things because it's based on the idea that you dedicate yourself as an artist to whatever art you're doing, because you heard something or read something or saw something that made you go like, done by somebody else or by yourself, that made you go like, oh, I need to do this forever or as long as I can, because it has its difficulties. It's a fight. It's a struggle. So you can't always just create and that's it. So did you guys have that, and why was it?
Sure. For me, I think playing music. This guy over here, John, was in this band which like changed names a bunch of times between like Stardog and McUltra and Must Warn Others. And me and another friend in high school were kind of all just sort of finding out about music, and we were kind of finding out about all these different bands, and then we found out about their band and would go see them practice all the time and play. And they were just like the most epic band, which would play these crazy long, like 9-minute songs, which would go in all these different directions, and they all had different aesthetics. It was like this weird blend of like Black Sabbath and the Dead Kennedys and Sonic Youth, and it was just like so awesome and so much power, and like they would often be not even playing the same parts the same times and everything, all the stuff, and
wow.
And it was just such a rush to see this music played all the time and see them at shows, and that was just kind of like and to see people that you were friends with kind of making this music, and even at that time it was like bands like Nirvana and stuff were sort of coming out, and you were like, oh, this is actually kind of easy or something in some ways, and you were like, this is someone just purely fucking going for it with their heart and turning something which you don't even have to be that talented to kind of create something so cool, so
we like Michelangelo Bay show.
yeah, exactly. So it was like, that was just such a thrill and a rush, like even getting an electric guitar and plugging it into an amplifier and then getting bigger and bigger amplifiers, and just the sound of how it just rumbled in my parents' house at the time, like the whole thing. I bought this giant like SVT cabinet from a friend, and had this trainer head. It would turn it up all the way, and all the pictures and everything would shake on the wall when my parents would go and I would play, and it's just the fucking thrill of that has just always excited me kind of to this day.
Not bothering the neighbors then.
I don't care about the neighbors.
No,
that's okay. Yeah,
it's good neighbors.
Your neighbors shouldn't care. I mean, hey, come on. We live in this world together.
just asking because you could have. What about you, John?
Yeah, just
Not your own band, I guess.
what?
Not your own band.
What inspired you? What's made from?
Yeah,
Made for-
seeing another band like wow, they can do this and be so loud, and being like, oh wow, you can actually plug 10, 20 pedals together, and it just doesn't sound like anything by the time you turn all of them on, and it's so beautiful, and you could play as fast as you want. No one is writing your music, you're writing your own, and it's a great time, being so young, and your brain is just like a sponge, just soaking up everything that you could possibly want to do, and creating new things, and actually being the first to do things, and it's really cool, that beginning experience.
And do you remember when you clicked? When did you have a specific moment when wow, this is this is going to be my fate, I guess, destiny.
Like when Oliver said the same thing when I turned my amp up to 10 for the first time, and
or 11 if you're Spinal Tap.
Yeah, exactly. Or playing the drums so fast and loud that and not having a good posture and not holding your sticks correctly, just doing it the way you want to do it.
One cool thing about John is, maybe he was not going to tell the story, but he was in this that band that he was in that was so good. He was the singer, and I remember, and the drummer was a really good drummer. This guy who had naturally been, he was always banging on the desks and stuff at school, and he was a really good drummer. And John would sometimes try to maybe play drums at their practices, and
he wouldn't show up,
and because the guy wouldn't show up because he was whatever. So the drummer, who was really good, would laugh at John, you can't play and stuff, because he's a left-handed guy, and so he'd be playing a right-handed kit, left-handed back, and be like, whatever, get off the drums, ha ha ha, John, or whatever. So that kind of inspired him to play drums, I feel on his own, to be fuck that, fuck you, dude, I can do this fucking shit. Yeah, exactly, I can fucking do this shit. And then he joined the band of me and the kid who was a fan, and he has the drummer.
Yeah, they used to just sit on this little dirty sofa and watch us play, and
it was dirty?
Yeah, it was a pretty dirty sofa.
Music shouldn't be competition, but sometimes it's cool to that happens.
Because sometimes it's good to kind of get beat down and stuff. And in that band that we were in together, we would often get booed off stage and pulled off stage, and the power would get cut. Often the power would get cut, or people would pull the plugs on us.
You'd only hear the drums after that, and be like, what the hell?
Because we were playing a similar kind of music to what we play now, but it was just at a wrong time. In 1998 or whatever, people didn't want to hear this kind of music. It was it was really looked down upon, and and we lived near DC and stuff like that, so they were still kind of into hardcore music had kind of taken over, and we'd play all these hardcore shows, and all these bands who were these fake hardcore bands weren't into something that was actually hardcore.
Yeah,
they were into they were into pitched vocals and some fancy Soldano amplifiers or something like that.
Ultimately pop.
And shining their guitars or something like that, But there's real hardcore bands out there. I'm not trying to knock on that.
No, absolutely. I know what you mean.
Yeah, but the scene was all those like kids who are like, you know, I don't know what, taking their mommy and daddy's money and playing hardcore music or acting the image, you know, like getting the bigger rings in their ears, you know, as opposed to trying to play something creative, you know.
Checker tattoos. And
yeah,
stuff
exactly.
Like that.
So whatever.
Yeah,
But,
not to diss checker tattoos. You can do whatever you want if that's your thing.
Yeah,
but
and if you're bored, you can always play checkers. So it's good.
it's true. And what about you? The whole made of things thing. We're still on that.
I'd say there's a lot of moments, but I suppose one would be when I was in my late teens, maybe 16, 17. I was kind of part of a group of people. I was in a band called Nothing at All, and we used to hang out with these bands that were like 6, 7 years older than us, and these were bands that no one really liked, and except for another small group of people, but they were kind of extreme bands, and they were very DIY, and they made their own amps. You know, they recorded their own music. They lived in kind of squats, and just watching those bands, they would throw themselves, physically into their band like I'd never seen anything before. Like, you know, they'd be rolling around in broken glass, and like just had no thought of their own personal health or safety, and would just be doing it to the fullest extent. And I just remember being up the front, just being so wrapped up in it, and just being such a magical. There was nothing else. It was just this explosion on stage.
Do you remember any names of the band?
Yeah, there's a band called Smack. Yeah, there was a band called Supercar, and mainly this one band called the Psycho Daisies. I'm still good friends with a few of those guys.
I was just thinking the other day. Actually, it's funny because I was just thinking like the other day, who's the most? Because I was having this talk with someone. Who's the most extreme physically in terms of live performance ever? Not in terms of the one most, but like a group of musicians. I was thinking like, okay, there's Hip Hop who just threw himself over glass, shattered glass and stuff like that, and well, there's Gigi Allen, of course, which you don't want to do, and then I think, and then there's Ayamatuka of Boredoms in Japan. He had a band called Hanatrash in the 80s. They literally destroyed venues with bulldozers. So it's insane. But then, so there's that as well. So I didn't know about that. No. Oh, that's awesome. Do you guys?
That band Destruction Unit? Have you ever seen?
Oh yeah. I've actually seen them live.
Yeah.
But they didn't destroy the venue.
No, they don't destroy the venue, but still, it gets to be pretty crazy.
It does get pretty crazy.
Yeah.
What do you guys remember any? What's the most extreme bands? You've said yours.
Yeah, these bands were the most extreme that I'd seen.
What about and musically as well?
Musically, oh god.
That's for all of you guys later.
Extreme. I can't even remember. I don't know.
Do you guys remember off the top of your head?
It's a tough one.
If you don't, you don't. I would not put you guys on the spot.
I mean, your boredoms are. I mean, on record, boredoms are pretty extreme. You know.
Yeah.
In some ways, you know.
I saw them live this year at Primavera.
Awesome. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that song. Is it God from Anal? Is that what it's called?
I think so. It's
a pretty cool song. It's like. Yeah, it's cool.
But,
I like that song.
Yeah.
It's one of their first singles, I think.
What about you guys? Like the stuff that makes you go like, wow, this is. I, for instance, love. Answer to my own question, but I love Flying Lutenbachers. The Weasel Walter guy, playing with Lydia Lunch now.
There was a guy in New Zealand. Actually, his name was Brent Hayward. Brent Hayward.
Okay.
He used to be in a band called Shoes This High, and I'd see him perform, and he was pretty crazy. He'd shoot up heroin on stage. He'd shove crosses up his ass.
Really?
Things like that. But he was, and he used to manage this band Supercar that I liked for a while, which was a match made in heaven, kind of, but or in hell.
I guess that's not a lot of people's cup of tea, though. In terms
it's not, but he was, he wasn't just doing it for shock value. He's generally, kind of an out there character,
So I guess you can make anything cool, you know, even like stuff that you don't usually want to see, like some guy shooting up heroin.
Yeah.
But I guess in some contexts it can really work. Yeah.
It was pretty extreme.
What about you guys?
Well, I mean, I've been a fan of Place Beer Strangers for a long time. So, I mean, not just because I'm buddies with them, but yeah, seeing these guys live and their old drummers and the whole every lineup that I've ever seen with Oliver, it's pretty awesome. And then as a kid, seeing Sonic Youth, oh, sorry.
Flies.
Yeah, I know. I know.
You were just talking.
Seeing Sonic Youth like grind their guitars on their amps and stuff, and like, you know, like that's what made me want to do it. You know, like that whole era, like in the '90s when I was a young buck. You know, yeah. So.
You?
Yeah, there's this band from New York. I don't even know, actually. They don't exist maybe anymore. The Dreebs. And just really intense musically, and would, like, you know, build it up, and would always be playing with like weird things jammed in their guitars. And I don't even think any of those guys were like classically trained or anything, but it was just some of the most intense music you've ever heard. And it would just escalate to these points of where the guy's just screaming his freaking head off and losing his voice and, you know, going fucking nuts. And that was always awesome. This band, or it was like Lightning Bolt in Providence. You know, when I used to live there, it was like they were kind of almost just starting out. And so you would go to a show and they would totally surprise people. And nobody kind of knew what to expect, and it was so wicked. It was just like so insane, because they would always do a thing where they would like play behind the crowd, you know, so there would be like a band would play, and then all of a sudden you'd hear and you'd be like, what the fuck's going on? You know, when they hear, you know, and they'd have dragged in so many amps and shit, and it was just like so killer.
Yeah, like when we saw like Six Finger Satellite, Airborne Radar, and Lightning Bolt all in one night, it was just like the most wild party ever. It's just like, this is crazy. This place is
all
nuts.
Those bands were just
Satellite, and which one?
Airborne Radar.
Okay.
You know, they were all fucking wicked bands. This band Force Field was maybe like the loudest band I'd ever seen or something. And it was one guy, but he would do things like he would play like a slinky and stuff like that with just like as many amps as he could. I don't even know
play a slinky
at the time, but it was incredible.
Can you mic a slinky at all? Even
he was very mellow, and he would stand around and he'd have the slinky or something with the thing, and then he'd maybe take something like a big pipe and like smash a keyboard or something, you know. But it was really incredible.
Slinkies are, I guess I never heard. But
this band New England Patriots was really good from like I think they're from like the Boston area. The dude gets just frickin' in everyone's face and pulls everybody around, and the band's just fucking wicked and so crazy.
Six Finger Satellite was John McClane's one. Yeah. Okay.
They were fucking awesome.
He was on my show as well.
Live, they would all play, and I don't know if I've ever seen another band do this, where they would stare you down the whole time. They would never look at their instruments, whatever, and they would just play, and the drummer would go, you know, drumming and staring you down, and everyone, and it was so intense and intimidating. It was fucking awesome. Six Finger Satellite. It was so good. It was so insane, you know? Like,
look at him back.
Totally. You're like, oh God, you know, yeah, totally. But it was such an awesome thing to kind of break down the barrier, and would really make this cool kind of connection. Also, that band Man or Astro Man. They were fucking wicked. They would light.
They've been here actually last year. I think.
Oh, really? Oh, crazy. Cool.
I think so. I missed out. I didn't come last year. I came here 2 years ago. But Man or Astro Man played, and I was like, oh, I'd never seen them live.
Oh yeah, very like theatrical and light a lot of shit on fire and stuff like that. But,
I'm a huge King Crimson fan.
Oh, awesome.
So huge King Crimson fan. And there's this. I've known the footage for a while, even from bootlegs. Back in the day,
you bought them illegally?
No.
How could you do this?
Not me, but friends of friends had. Friends of friends.
You're
actually,
call the police on those
I'll
people.
tell you. So family. Someone in my family had those tapes, so I already had them. So even whatever, you can't. There was no way. It was like the internet. Like
no.
It wasn't even bootlegs of nothing that's been released.
Bootlegs
even
is good, but don't buy music.
I mean, not bootleg. When I say bootlegs, I mean recorded stuff from shows on TV
Cool.
that were not available on sale in any way.
I used to buy that stuff all the time too. I got old like Ramones records and stuff that they didn't make and shit like that.
No, but it's not like even recorded illegally, I guess. Like people had VCRs, just like something that was on Belgian television in '74 that's now available on DGM, the Crimson label, and now you can buy. So now I don't recommend the bootlegs, but like back in not to justify myself really, but just like it's just like something that was sold in terms of like just between fans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So but I knew the footage, but it's now available on YouTube, and so it's just basically just because of the staring down, because Bob Fripp was just like playing like these really intricate parts, but not even looking at the band or at the guitar or anything. It was like staring into the void, like this. It was like not blinking ever, and just it freaks me out still. Like it's just like very intimidating. Just very.
That
like,
could even be where Six Finger Satellite got it from. They probably saw King Crimson and was like, "This is fucking awesome."
There's no crowd. He's not looking at the crowd. He's like not there, or just like looking.
That's
there.
awesome. That's
just,
incredible.
It's just like, or highly concentrated, or thinking about 10 things at a time, or something.
Probably.
I don't know. Can you do that when you play live?
You
playing like just thinking of whatever.
It's really possible. Like things just pop in your head. Just popping in your head. And
I feel like the best things happen when you're not thinking about anything, and you aspire to do that when playing the show, is to fucking let go. And that's part of the reason we even play so intense and get so crazy, is it can really make you just lose track of your body. You know, so
you can't be thinking about shit when you're. It's almost like you say, the aim of a show for a musician is to get lost in the moment 100% of the time for the whole show, because it's hard to do, because there's often like one song where it won't be as good, and you'll start thinking about, oh my god, this song's not sounding so good. You got to be like throwing yourself into that shit, like.
So then
because then your mind will wander and all sorts of stuff will happen, and that kind of sort of brings you back to reality in some kind of weird way, which sort of makes you not feeling what's going on 100%. You know, so because if you're thinking about anything, so it kind of takes away from to sort of about those kinds of things. So your body will just sort of react naturally. It's sort of like if you were to jump into a fire or something like that, like your body will just be like, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here at all costs. So it's like you just need to bring yourself to the
in the first place.
If that's your thought, like, why did I jump in this fire in the first place? You're gonna burn. So you've got to get the fuck out of the fire, so
you almost kind of have to not care, right?
Yeah, you definitely, totally, you have to completely. And then I think that's when like the most interesting things happen musically and stuff too. It's like, we do even a lot of kind of improvisation, and it's sort of mandatory because our music is to such an extreme point of the equipment that we're using that it's like there's sort of this kind of conversation going on between like the guitar and the amplifier. And just an amplifier being turned or put into a room or even anything just totally changes that conversation and how the different things are sort of speaking with each other. So you have to kind of just be present and feel it, and we can't ever get the same sound twice with the guitar or something. So you have to be able to take whatever good or shitty sound that comes out of it and turn it into exactly where you want to go with it. So it's like fighting water in a river or whatever or something like that, and sometimes you're drifting down and sometimes you're fighting back and all these pushing and pulling, and you have to kind of make it work or something. It's sort of inspired, I feel like Jimi Hendrix. I think it's one thing that maybe people didn't realize is you see him play guitar and he fucks up all the time. He's like terribly fucking up all the time, and people are like, oh my god, every note of like the American anthem or whatever was fucking incredible, and it's like, but it's because he takes the shittiest note that he accidentally hits and turns it into the most fucking badass thing you ever heard. By like
always so there, intensity.
There. Well, down and it's so fucking cool. He the cat meows and he fucking fights back with the dog, whatever. It's cool, so.
Make the most of what you have.
Make the most of what you have, yeah. But that takes kind of like, it almost comes from a place which you as a person aren't good and smart enough to be able to do that. You kind of, in some ways, I even relate it to, even though I'm not religious at all, being like touched by God or something.
Well, there's definitely something,
where it's like you're not controlling that point. It's almost like when you let yourself go, and are just kind of completely immersed in it and feeling it, then, you're kind of like flowing in this sort of zone that's not in reality or something, where you're not even consciously thinking, and you just feel what's going on, and you just make love to the music,
Put yourself in service of
brother.
Amen. Make love to the music.
Make love to the music, guys. I think we're done. Thank you, guys. Thanks for your time. This is awesome.
Right on.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just remembered that I need. This also goes on the podcast, so in audio form. So I need you guys to say at least like your names, just because people recognize your voice. So it's not an ID. It's just like, oh,
Hi, I'm Oliver Ackerman.
Hi, I'm John Fedowitz.
I'm Dion Lunadon.
Okay, then that's it, basically. Then that's gonna go. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, you guys, so much, man. Cool.
Thanks.